watching Prime Morning. It's time for the News Flash segment, which is proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still, phone papa. Whatever gadgets you're looking for, whether mobile phones, television sets, CCTV cameras, worry no more, because Franco has got you covered. You can actually download the app on your phone or visit the website for further inquiries. And the app is Franco Trading App. Franco Trading App. The website is www.francotradingenterprise.com. Franco Trading Enterprise, still phone papa. My name is Roslyn Felly, and I want us to take a look at what the newspapers have for us this morning before I introduce my guest to you, and then we delve into our conversation this morning. So I'll start with the Daily Graphic newspaper. The Daily Graphic newspaper. President Mahama on official visit to Japan and Singapore. Fedco redeems commercial paper issued on GSE. Return drip machines to RCCs. National coordinator warns defaulting MMDAs. And that'll be it for the front page. Let's see what we have in the center spread. So for the center spread, we have, 1 second. Yeah. Collaborate to maintain Catholic girls' education excellence. Abena Amwa urges at St. Rose's SHS 60th anniversary. Postgraduate medical education investment will stem attrition, and this coming from speakers. And also, Fedco redeems commercial paper issued on GSE. For the back page, we have more stories here. And stakeholders IITA validates Akilimo cassava material translated into tree and ewe. Adabraka Presby holds blood donation to support NPS, and that'll be all for the Daily Graphic newspaper. The next newspaper is the Ghanaian Publisher newspaper. The Ghanaian Publisher, Bute's NPP amnesty raises eyebrows, and we will be delving into this particular conversation probably in the next 2 to 3 minutes because the NPP is saying that all suspended members of the party should come back, and so they are welcoming them back into the party. Deputy Health Minister, not a professor, GTEC says so, GTEC says so. Ghana bids farewell to crash victims, and Awudu Mahama, the leader Print Park needs now. I'm trying to get, okay, so the center stories, some good stories here. Petrol, LPG prices to rise as the diesel goes down from August 16th. It looks like we are going to see some hikes in our fuel from August 16th. When is August 16th though? Today's what? Today's 18th. So it's gone up already. Yeah. So it's actually gone up already. So if you bought fuel this morning, and you should check and see how much, it's selling for at the pumps. Poorly performing SOEs pose fiscal risk to economic stability. This coming from the World Bank as they warn. Fidelity Bank relaunches Sika Boom Reloaded to reward savers. Helicopter crash. Mahama posthumously promotes 3 officers. Stakeholders endorse a draft gender equality framework, and Stanbic Bank donates 500,000 Ghana cedis to support children of helicopter crash victims. That'll be all for the Ghanaian Publisher newspaper. Our final newspaper is the Chronicle newspaper. The Chronicle. Helicopter crash. You've got us. Mahama pledges never to abandon children of fallen patriots. Ebo Kwanzaa goes home August 30th. The venue is Ekumfi Ekrofo. Awudu Mahama, why I'm the right choice to lead Print Park. Definitely we'll have some stories in the center page as well, so we'll take them. Okay, we do have more pictures here of the state burial which took place on Friday, where the 8 gallant men who lost their lives in the line of duty, they were on their way to help fight Galamsey, unfortunately lost their lives. They were buried. Their funeral took place on Friday, and there are more pictures in the Chronicle of what happened. The Chronicle will always give us a Bible verse, which I love so much. And today's coming from Matthew. It says, Matthew chapter 6, verse 31. Therefore, do not be anxious, saying, what shall we eat? Or what shall we drink? Or what shall we wear? Therefore, do not be anxious, saying, what shall we eat? Or what shall we drink? Or what shall we wear? You've got us. President Mahama pledges never to abandon children of fallen patriots. So that is what it links to. Anyway, I'm here with NPP. He's the first person to come in. So I'll say Emmanuel is always punctual. So Emmanuel Amekplenu, who's representing the NPP, is here this morning. Good morning, Emmanuel.
Good morning, Rosalind. How are you?
I'm good. How are you too? Great. Thank you so much for waking up so early to be here this morning.
I think that in terms of dealing with time is something that I have been trained with, and as an activist or as people who are very disciplined, it is very important that at any engagement you find yourself, you must always adhere to the protocols as far as time is concerned. So I believe that coming here early is not by virtue of the fact that I woke up early. It's by the grace of God. Anything could have happened. So I thank the Almighty God for giving me the opportunity to arrive here early. And now let me use the opportunity to say a very good morning to your cherished viewers and to my party people as well, especially the leadership of the party.
I was going to ask you, how's the party doing?
Most importantly, the good people of the Volta region who are watching me this morning, they are watching their son. I want to say a very special good morning to them. Again, a special good morning to the commanders who are in charge on ground in the Volta region, monitoring every area as far as activities of, development is concerned in the region. I want to also commend the good people of all, special greetings to the good people of Akwatia. Yesterday they had a very great health walk. The numbers were very encouraging. I am very convinced, hoping that by the grace of the Almighty, come 2nd of September, something wonderful will happen. But that will be done by the grace of the Almighty. But before I continue, let me give you this Bible verse in the book of Isaiah chapter 41, verse 10. I'm reading from the book of King James. And it says that, fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee. Yeah, I will help thee. Yeah, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. This is the word of the Lord.
Amen.
I read this in relation to the trauma we went through probably for the last 2 weeks. It's been very troubling. We went through a lot as a country, and coming out of that trauma, we are not totally healed yet, but I believe that this morning, the Almighty God is encouraging us that we should fear not.
Right.
For these will never happen to us as a country again. And it is our prayer that never again should such an incident occur to us again.
Amen.
And it is my prayer that the good Lord will guide us and help us in the discharge of our daily activities.
Amen, amen, and amen. This is what we need, and I pray this prayer for everybody. I want to say a very big thank you to Franco for bringing this segment your way. With Franco Trading Enterprise, you can trust that all your gadgets are covered. Authentic gadgets, I must say. No fake zone here. So is it mobile phones you're looking for, television sets, CCTV cameras, refrigerators, I mean, all the gadgets you could think of. Cooking stove, electric stove, all the gadgets. I mean, water heater, microwave, everything, they've got you covered. You can actually download the app on your phone. Visit any of their shops, okay? Don't pick the number from Google because there are too many scammers on Google. You can visit any of their shops, or you can download the app on your phone to make things very simple, which is Franco Trading app. Franco Trading app in the comfort of your home. You can just get, all the necessary gadgets delivered to you at your doorstep. For further inquiries, visit the website www.francotradingenterprise.com. Franco Trading Enterprise, still and still, phone Papa Perfie. Nana Yao Sapong is also here this morning, and he's represented Movement for Change. Good morning, Nana.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good.
Me who watch it? You don't look for me. You were doing a program in church.
I was expecting to see you in church.
Yeah. You didn't invite me though.
But the BTP, we don't invite.
You do.
We do?
Yeah.
We do?
Yeah.
I'm sorry then. I thought you knew everything about my church.
I know everything about your church, but you didn't invite me. Me knowing is not to mean invite.
So he's going to have another one on Zoom 2 days.
Okay.
So I would send you the link.
Yes, Nana.
And then you would join. It was a beautiful program, in fact.
Right.
And then I'm my elite. Let me call down about 2.
Okay. All right. We also have Hussaini Donko, who is representing the NDC. Good morning, Hussaini.
Good morning.
How are you?
Everything seems to be okay now. We are fully recovering. We may not fully recover though, but God has been gracious.
God has definitely been gracious.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for making it this morning.
The number one person is up and running already. Who am I to stay?
I like that. All right. So the NPP, actually, I want to use what the Ghanaian publisher is saying because the language they are speaking is very, very important. This is what they are saying. They are saying Butte's NPP amnesty raises eyebrows. The New Patriotic Party has announced what it calls a sweeping general amnesty for all members who have been suspended or are currently facing disciplinary action. A move, it says, is aimed at healing old wounds and fostering unity ahead of 2028 elections. And so for any member who has been suspended, they are granting that member amnesty. And so that person is back into the party fully. This is supposed to help foster unity ahead of 2028 elections. Now, Emmanuel is here, and Emmanuel is definitely representing the NPP. So it's only right that I start this conversation with you, Emmanuel. I don't know if this is going down well with everybody in the party, because for people to be suspended, obviously, your constitution says because of their act, they had to be suspended. So why the sudden change?
Thank you very much once again. A very good morning to your cherished viewers, and a good morning to my colleagues as well. Why the sudden change? I think that this is not new. This is part of our democracy. It has been there for over some years now, where at the end of every electoral process, you see that there is amnesty granted to those who have been suspended. So for me, I see it as a call in the right direction. I don't see anything wrong with it. What I see wrong with the caption is Butte's NPP. What is this about Butte's NPP? It is not, the party is not for Butte.
No, it wasn't MPP. It said MPP amnesty.
No, I'm talking about the headline.
Yes, that's what it says. It says Butte's NPP amnesty. So
Okay.
it's the amnesty, MPP.
I get where you are, but you could have done away without, putting in Butte. Of course, he is the acting chairman. So
I didn't put it there.
You see, some of this PR gimmicks create a lot of impressions in the minds of people. So let's do away. I admonish those.
He signed the paper.
That's why I agree with you. He's the acting chairman. However, we could do away, probably, roping in Butte. Of course, everybody knows that the circulation that is in the public domain was signed by Butte. So why would you want to, for want of better words, if you would not have any intention, why would you want to, give a heading like Butte's? And let's not do that. The bone of contention here is that, of course, MPP is granting amnesty to those who have been suspended, and also for those who have voluntarily withdrawn from the party. You have to apply. You have to apply that you want to come back to the party, and the party would wholeheartedly will accept you. And I think that is a good thing, because at the end of the day, we are seeking for unity. We are looking at unity. Unity in unity lies strength. So we want the numbers. The numbers are very important. And that also does not mean that as a party, when people misbehave, we should let them be. No, there must be guidelines. And I think that is what was used in, suspending the people. So for me, I think that the call to, grant them amnesty is a call in the right direction. The party is adhering to that call. Everybody across the 276 constituency is expected to adhere to that call. Where you feel you have not been treated well, and you probably withdrew and you want to join back, you are, welcome by applying to join the party. And I believe that in all of these things, there will be the peace that we want. There will be that cohesion in terms of unity that we want to see. When I was coming, I heard the other gentleman who was part of you.
Yeah, Razak.
It was like that will be heated argument, because Movement for Change is coming. The MPP is on the bill. There will not be any heated argument as far as...
But I just want to find out from you with regards to this. don't you think that the NPP making such a decision will allow people to misbehave because they know that one day, even if I'm suspended, I'll be called back because we need unity?
But is this the first time we are having such a directive coming from the party leadership? No, this is not the first time. This will definitely not be the last time.
But it's beginning to look like you only do it when you need the numbers. And so when you don't need the numbers, then you don't call on them.
It's part of the electoral process. Every 4 years, for me, I see it as the electoral process. And I believe that I often see this anytime the electoral cycle goes off, starting another electoral process, we try to bring the numbers together. And you know, most of this act of indiscipline happens during these inter-party activities. At times people go overboard, say things, do things that will probably not augur well with the party. And for that matter, sanctions will have to be put in place. I believe that those were the things that happened, and for that matter, the party is giving them opportunity. There are people also who feel that they've not been treated well, and in one way or the other, took a bad stage.
Will the party reach out to such persons?
I think that whatever the party needs to communicate is very explicit in...
No, I mean people who have left. And
people who have left.
Yes, you still feel...
That's what I'm saying, that for people who have left, the party has given you a guideline as to what to do. We don't need to place any call to you again. Okay. If you think that you voluntarily left the party, yours is to apply.
All right.
Where the party deems it fit to, call on others, I'm sure that would have probably been, fixed in the statement that was released. But I don't see anybody being called to, join the party and all of that. No. If you think that you were not treated well, and for that matter, you left the party and you feel you want to come back, yours is to join. So let me withdraw that statement made by Razak, that there will be a heated argument.
Oh, no, we are still ongoing with that conversation.
We will not have any heated argument.
Let's finish our
conversation. This morning is very cool, and nobody is going to have any
I like that. Well, he didn't actually say there's going to be argument, though. I want to correct that. He didn't say that there's going to be argument. He said that let's see what's going to happen, but he never said there's going to be argument. He didn't use the word argument.
So what did he say?
I'm 100% sure. We can play it for you after. Now, let me bring you into the conversation. Your candidate actually was a member of the NPP. You yourself was a member of the NPP.
Yes.
And currently the NPP says that for those that had been suspended, they are granting them amnesty to come back into the party to foster unity. There's a case whereby they want to start afresh. There's a reason why you were part of the NPP. Certain values the NPP had. That's why you were part. If the NPP should bring back these values and the unity comes in again, will you and your candidate consider rejoining the NPP?
Thank you very much, Rosalind, and good morning to my colleagues here. I was just admiring your watch.
Oh, thank you. It's a Swarovski.
Hey.
Mami Amanka.
Pressure, wow. Camera phone also.
Yes, you're right.
So, Rosalind, you see, politics is a science, I always tell people. And you need to study it. You need to accept the fact that it does not just remain as it is. It's not stagnant. And be as it may, as a living organism, as which politics is, you need to be able to accept the fact that there are certain elements, there are certain factors, there are certain, things that adds up every day. You put it right. There were reasons, values that we did admire, for which we had joined the NPP. And just like in every organization, there are reasons why people join. And one thing that I know for sure that we do is that when you have an organization and there is employment turnover, to sit down as organization and you try as much as you can to identify the reasons why people come and they leave, the reasons why people who have been part of you from onset, people who are shareholders, people who have equity, people who have sacrificed their lives to build that organization are leaving. Once you're able to identify them, Rosalind, you do not just go out there and say, come, those of you who left.
Mm-hmm.
Who does that? What we're expecting the NPP to do was to rather sit, identify point by point the reasons why people have left, the reasons why people were suspended unconstitutionally, the causes of the disunity.
Suspended unconstitutionally?
Across the constituencies. People suspended for no reason. People suspended without going through the process, the due process in the constitution of the NDC.
So there could be a reason, but they didn't go through the process. Is that it?
There could be a reason. When you have been able to identify all of this, then you solved those problems. You put in mechanisms, you put in policies, frameworks to be able to deal with the matter. When you have dealt with it, and you are settled, all right, it will speak for itself. Then it will become attractive again. But if, as a party or as an organization, you have not been able to accept the fact that anything did go wrong, and you think your organization is so big and so attractive that you could just come and say, okay, you left, we are rebuilding, come. Ooh, come where? To what? Did you hear what President Kufuor said? Have they been able to be bold enough to even deal with the matter? Did you monitor the just ended party conference? I sat here, you were here, and I said that whatever decision they took at the small committee, their neck, telling us that that wasn't the final one. I told you, I said that was the final decision that had been taken. They are done with. Whatever that is going to happen there is just for the optics.
Oh, but there was a voting, there was a public voting. We all saw it.
You think that was a public voting?
But it wasn't. They did a public voting.
You are doing such an amendment of your constitution after such an embarrassing defeat. Unprecedented. It has never happened in the history of the UP tradition. And we push, and others push for a constitutional amendment, and you go to sit down to orchestrate what I call an in-house political coup.
That's what you call it.
Coup d'etat? Of course, I said that's how I call it. And you go to impose it on the people.
But the people were involved, Nana.
How? The yeah?
Yes.
Is that the best way to vote?
Because there were some of, the options that the people...
So which one? It was just one. The youth thing.
Yes.
You know what went into it? Check all those who had pulled up to contest for the youth organization. And you know that they had all crossed the age limit. All of them. All of them. And the person they wanted, or they want at that small committee level, the people who are still having the party in their pocket, has crossed the limit. So they had to do something about it. Muslim, you see, when you are undergoing a restructuring process to rebuild and to rebrand, you do it in a systematic and a logical way.
Okay.
Let them not be deceived in any way that putting out that letter or that community, not admitting what has gone wrong, not admitting the reasons why people had left, is going to attract anybody back into the party.
So for you, you think the NPP must tell people or admit to why people left? That's the right way.
We give reasons for leaving.
Okay.
Has those reasons been resolved?
Maybe this is the first step, isn't it?
It's first step.
By inviting the people, giving amnesty.
Inviting who? The issues have been identified. They're on the table. What has been done about it?
Okay, Nana. Let me go to Fuseni. Fuseni, Donko, you've been smiling throughout the conversation. I don't know why you're smiling, so let me ask you why you're smiling before I go into my questions.
Rosalind, I think, good morning to my co-panelists and good morning to your good self. It's troubling when the NPP, according to my observation, do not know what really hit them. And it looks as if they are now clutching on every straw in a drowning lake. Because first of all, did they accept that they erred in suspending some of the people? Or is it just a matter of, listen, let's forget about whatever happened. Let's start on a good note. So what about those they sacked? What about those people too? What is going to happen to them? So if behind the scenes, this is what I would have done, and this is what I saw my party do, especially in the case of Guzitano, in the case of even Obeda Samuel's party, maybe they didn't learn from us how we were able to get those parties all coming back to the NDC. You see, you do the behind-the-scenes work, get some understanding, get the thing going, let the people willingly even start joining to do things before you announce this. Then their followers will all fall in line. Or you don't even say, did they say they've lifted the suspension? Or they said, well, you can all come back.
They've granted amnesty.
Good. So if you've granted amnesty, I would have expected that, okay, now these people are working with us. The amnesty has been granted. We are all one people now. Whatever happened, let's forget about it. But if you specifically, that's why I was asking whether those who were sacked, what happens to them? Are they part of the amnesty?
Well, they didn't talk about sack. They spoke about suspension.
That is what I'm saying.
So even in
your unity, even in your quest for unity, there are some people you still consider as doomed, or let's say the damned.
But sacking is sacking, and that's why every party is bound by constitution. And that's why I asked Emmanuel, before these people even were suspended, definitely they went contrary to the constitution, and the constitution suspended them. Now they are being granted amnesty. It means that some people, not everybody, some people will take advantage of this and say, okay, anytime when the party needs numbers, they will call on me. And so I come in there, I misbehave, I go contrary to the constitution, and I'll be called back probably after 4 years, because I look at the trajectory and almost every 4 years we are being called back. So why don't I come back and do this? So
you realize that it looks as if in the quest to appear to be very disciplined and a bit assertive, they suspended even some people recently. Talk of the Bono regional chairman, if I'm right. Abronye.
Abronye's own, well, we don't know if he's been suspended or not, because when the statement came out, I was told by a party executive, I don't want to mention his name, that letter or that statement was false. So as of now, we are not too sure whether he's been suspended or not.
But people were suspended based on minor offenses than even Abronye. I don't know if you understand. So when he said, were some of the suspensions legitimate? That was a very important question. Then I also added that, what about those who have been sacked? So it means people like Alan Martin and all the rest, what happens to them? For them,
Alan was never sacked. He left.
Yes, he left. He was not suspended.
No, not at all.
But what about the part of their what do you call it, constitution that says if you contest against your party,
no, he
left
the party before.
Your membership.
Yes, but so he wasn't
what
suspended.
What you're talking about is when the general secretary issued a letter
that those who had left
sacking
support him.
persons like Hobson, Nanon, Hininto, Boniface, Abubakar Sadiq, and the likes. And you see, just a quick one. If you read the letter they brought, it says that we hereby serve notice that this directive lifts all suspensions and waives any ongoing procedures against affected members. Now, the next line says that members who have forfeited their membership are required to submit a formal application
Yes.
to the National Secretariat
Yes.
for reinstatement.
Like yourself.
Let me stop it. Upon reinstatement, you shall remain ineligible
For 2 years.
to contest. So, what is the wavering here?
Come and campaign.
So who? You see,
They need your votes.
highest to do.
They are telling you to come back and reapply. Why you don't want to reapply?
Reapply to where?
To MPP.
As some of the persons who edited these letters, my Tescon ID is older than their membership.
They edited, they didn't sign.
I didn't talk about this. I said those who contributed.
Let Husseini make his point. Yes, Husseini.
The whole thing.
Please finalize it in 2
Sincerely
minutes for me.
speaking,
So that
I don't think they are being fair, because if you are granting amnesty,
You grant
and
amnesty.
you are in, let's say, with a good faith,
Yes.
you don't put barriers. That yes,
Conditional
you are opening the
amnesty.
door, but you don't have to come and sit, come and stand. Then why do you invite me to the meeting?
okay. So the MPP has.
It is one of the reasons they rushed
So
to
let's
this
move on.
top-bottom approach.
Okay, so now let's move on to the Galamsey fight as well, because now this is what the NPP is saying. So if you are a member of the NPP and you've been suspended, the NPP says that they are granting you amnesty so you can become a full member of the party again. And for those of you who left, they are also saying that come back, apply.
Reapply.
Okay, reapply, become a member, but then you sit on the bench for 2 years before you can, contest for any position in the party. This is what the party rules says, and so we've taken opinions.
In the coming days, don't be
so
surprised.
we'll go into our next conversation, which is
to hear some
with
people going to
Galamsey,
shoot down the same amnesty letter.
the fight against Galamsey. When they shoot it down, we'll bring back the topic. The fight against Galamsey. Now, 8 gallant men lost their lives in the line of duty, and everybody keeps talking about how can we fight Galamsey. Are these policies working? What are chiefs doing about it? Our queen mothers and our chiefs are doing about it. What can we do to curb the fight, to curb Galamsey, actually? Because it's like a fight that nobody even knows the end of the road. LI 2462 is still on. Government has promised that it's going to be repealed, but as it stands now, it's still not being repealed. They have told us when Parliament convenes, they will repeal it, but when? Will it ever? Is a question. Well, let me start this conversation with Husseini. Husseini, let me start this with you, because for you, you are in government. These men who lost their lives, obviously, because of Galamsey, and it should never have happened. Why are we still not having the LI 2462 repealed, even 8 months in power?
No, to the best of my understanding, that particular...
When Parliament convenes?
Yeah, is being considered.
But Parliament convened, it went into amendment.
It's not like one of those bills you can easily, by a voice vote, just get it off. I think it has to go through a process.
Okay.
If I'm right.
It has to go through a process, but the question that people keep asking is, it went through a process. Well, people say it was shadow passed, when it was passed, it was shadow passed.
Okay.
Now, in 2024, everybody used it to campaign, especially the NDC. It was one of your campaign tools. So everybody was expecting that immediately you sit, even your first sitting in Parliament would have been the top thing to discuss and, repeal it. But rather, it was more of an amendment until now.
At times, what everybody thinks is different from what the law thinks. And let's be very clear with that. There are processes that you have to go by the law, not by what people always think. Because you may be thinking differently, but the law has its own roots as well. So it's proper to follow the law, deal with something decisively that it doesn't raise its head again, than go with sentiments, get it done wrongly, and somebody exploits it. Because when we say these gallant heroes died because of Galamsey, they died in the quest of finding some solution to the Galamsey menace.
That's what we said.
I'm just trying to paraphrase it properly, because this is the first step towards responsible mining. And what did that mean? It meant now they were able to, through the negotiation skills of His Excellency the President and the sector ministers, they were able to negotiate with some of the large-scale miners and say, listen, this youth of ours are actually invading some of your concessions, illegally mining or stealing because they are not properly being supervised. That is why, in a hurry, they go mine, leave the place not properly attended to, and run away. Now, what can we do so that instead of stealing, we organize them, teach them how to do it properly, add the responsible part of it to it, vis-a-vis reclamation and proper things to be done. Now, Anglo Gold was the first company to accept that particular deal and ceded off part of their concession and said, listen, you can deal with the alluvial part of this particular concession of ours, but then Anglo Gold and government, that is why the environmental minister was there, because EPA was going to be part of the task force that will supervise that particular type of money. So once Anglo Gold accepted, most of the other large-scale companies decided to follow suit. So what it meant was that, first step, it was going to draw most of the youth who were illegally invading some of those concessions now into a place where they can be properly supervised. And of course, once all these agencies are supervising, it will cut out the destruction to the environment in a way. So that was the first step. Then once you get them something to do, now those recalcitrant ones that do not want to follow the law, you now deal with them according to the law. And that is where I believe the whole nation's anger is geared towards that. Listen, get something, because it is always, what is the alternative? What is the alternative? Now, there is a window of alternative for you. Especially the destructive ones that are in our on our water bodies and in our forests. How do we deal with them? Yeah, a lot of people are professing a lot of things. Yes. For me, anybody attacking or polluting our water body just to get money or get wealth for himself is a national security threat to me. And that person should be dealt with like somebody plotting a coup. That is how I would have thought. Because anybody looking for money in our river body that thousands and millions of people depend on, and you decide to pollute it just because you want something for your pocket in the name of there is no work, you are a threat to the nation.
So if you say we should deal with them like somebody who is plotting a coup, how are you?
Yeah, because...
I mean, what do you mean by that?
Anybody
who
is a threat to the nation, he deals with at times with capital punishment.
Okay, shoot and kill?
Oh, well, I will not adopt the shoot and kill because you may not know whom you are shooting. Because you sent task force there to also go and deal with the thing. What is the safest distance that you stand on to even shoot? And in the crossfire, what can happen?
So then what do you suggest?
No, you see, there are ways of combating this.
Okay.
Like I said, if one person is caught And the example is the punishment is given to you as if you have committed a coup. You don't even get bail. You are sentenced as if you are an armed robber. The next person venturing into this will be careful.
I have a lot of questions for you, but let me move to Nanayao because of time. I'll come back to you. Hopefully, I have enough time to ask you those questions.
No problem.
But Nanayao, looking at the fight against Galamsey, these policies were going to be put in place to allow. They want, what's the term used?
Responsible
cooperative mining. Now, I don't know if these Galamseyers are willing to do it. I don't know if they are willing to do it. But this is probably one would say, sitting from afar, is a good one. So it should be able to work. But do these policies work?
Rosalind, see, when you have gotten to a point in some of these matters, I was telling somebody that it gets to a point when confusion in the state of a conflict, you move from peacekeeping to peace enforcement, just as the interior minister and the president had issued for the issues happening in Boko. Where we have gotten to, Galamsey is a war. And in a war, you deal with the matter head on. We issued a statement yesterday, Movement for Change. I don't know if you have a copy of our statement.
Please send it to me.
Yesterday. And what we issued, it's very simple. We are saying that, listen, number one, there should be a complete ban on small-scale mining activities. A complete ban. Because you cannot have war ongoing and you still would allow people to be doing the cause of the war because you think that they are legitimate. You are not able at that point to even differentiate those who are legitimately doing it. The persons who have the licenses and are indeed going through the right procedures and processes to be doing it. Rosalind, on this same platform, I had indicated that when they have issued these certifications and licenses to these small-scale miners, they do them, they have time periods, all right? They have the size of the concessions, they have the areas, and they have a lot of factors that go into it. But without doing any further check, based on what is happening now, I can say for a fact that there are many of these small-scale miner companies that have their licenses and their certifications expired.
But they're still working.
But they're still working. Some are not using them rightly. So if the license was given to you based on inspections and the processes we went through for a concession A, you would find them using those same certifications to be working on concession B.
That is illegal, man.
And that is illegal. That makes it illegal, man. But the problem here is, who audits them?
Some of them are very aggressive. That's where even the problem is, because even though we have, men on the grounds to fight it or to fight them, they are so aggressive. Most of them are armed. And so let's not even make it look like that
is where we are coming from.
Yes, if they're armed, extremely armed.
Number one, they are destroying our forest reserves. Number two, they are destroying our water bodies that is affecting all of us. Number three, they who are destroying would still have the nerves to shoot at you for speaking and telling them to stop. And don't go. You say we should look at them and say, oh, in as much as you are destroying Ghana, in as much as you are destroying our lives, the masses, you, the individual who is selfish, greed, we should leave you to enjoy with your family. No, it doesn't work that way.
I didn't say that.
Okay, Nana,
the point is this.
Please, a minute so that I can move to Emmanuel.
Just a second. You see, we have some of the licenses that were even issued. The commentaries some of them are making without going through due process. We cannot tell. So we are saying that for the past 15 years, all licenses that have been issued, recall all those licenses. Let us audit them. You can easily set up teams across the mining areas. A joint force, headed by the Minerals Commission, to audit these licenses.
Also, you see, the point is that you can audit the small-scale miners, but you cannot audit Galamseyers.
No,
they don't have a.
And I'm saying,
they don't have a location.
And I'm saying that, once we are able to ban these activities, we'll be able to identify those who are doing the Galamsey.
Okay. Well, Nana has a point there. Emmanuel, let me bring you into the conversation. Policies, your government sets policies. We still didn't see the fight yielding any results. We realized that, yes, you engaged traditional leaders as well. We still didn't see any results being yielded. You have lost power, and Galamsey was one of the reasons why you lost power. Now the NDC is in power, and the song everybody is singing is that let's take politics away and let's fight Galamsey head on as a nation. When we talk about these policies and these traditional leaders and everything which is not working, some are suggesting shoot and kill. Some are suggesting let's withdraw license and, start all over again. Some are even calling for state of the nation, emergency. So what is the NPP also going to do about it? What do you think should be done about it for us to be able to fight Galamsey? Because it looks like we've tried everything.
Well, thank you very much, Rosalind. I listened to my colleague Fuseni talk about the fact when you asked about the repealing of the law, LI 2462, he talked about it's being considered. And then he talked about the fact that what everyone thinks about the law is what everyone thinks is different from what the law says. Then immediately the question that comes to mind is that did the NDC ever thought of what the law says at the time they were, parading themselves on the street, on the media platforms, benefiting from this canker that we are seeing today? Let it be put on record that the major beneficiaries of the Galamsey today is the NDC. I say that without my nice words. They are the major beneficiaries because they actually campaigned with this Galamsey issue, and it won them power.
It's as if we bring all the.
I never interjected you respectfully.
No, but at least
I wanted him to learn so that we get to understand why
they campaigned on the tangent of Galamsey, and they benefited hugely from it. Today, I am shocked that he sits here and tell us that it's being considered. They never thought that the then government would have also put it in consideration when they were parading themselves, using all gimmicks to win votes. It confirms what we say, that the NDC did not only, lie to us, but they scammed us as a country.
Nana, I know that, Ima, I know that this thing that you just said, definitely people at home will ask this question, so let me ask on behalf of the people.
Okay.
Are you saying that what we saw with regards to the state of Galamsey destroying our water bodies wasn't true?
Was a scam.
Are you saying it was a scam?
I am not disagreeing with what you said. But what I'm saying is that he sits here and says that repealing of the law, LI 2462, is being considered. For that matter, for those who see everything different, must also consider the fact that the law has its own way. And I asked a rhetorical question by asking that, did the NDC ever thought in the same manner when they were seeking to take over power from us, that in repealing that law, when two of their members have to, go to court, did they ever thought that it would have, had that same consideration? They never thought, because at the time, it was on their side. Today, when it is getting out of hand, it is making them look very bad, because what they expected to be on a silver platter. It's not what they are getting today. A leading member of their party, who is an MP, has been called out today. Has their leadership of the party spoken against that? What has been the result? So for me, I think that it is neither here nor there. The fight against Galamsey, first of all, first thing that we must look at as a country.
If you
when we are speaking,
asking this,
I'm coming. Let me land.
Their party,
yes,
has
an MP from our wing, has been called out.
Okay.
So this is not.
Is he not under investigation?
The MP has been called out even by the chiefs that he's involved in Galamsey. If he has anything against that he has not been called out, I am here. He should take me on. Okay. And this is in the news. Everybody knows about it.
All right.
So I don't see anything wrong about that. Now, in dealing with the issue of Galamsey, the NDC must first of all come back into the right position to understand that it cannot be a usual political balloning. No, it cannot be the usual political balloning, where because of power, you want to rope us into scams and lies. No, we must first of all decisively depoliticize the tackling of Galamsey. We must depoliticize it. That is the first thing we have to do. Because if we continue on the tangent of blue-green, then we'll never deal with the issue of Galamsey. So the NDC must first of all admit that they have scammed Ghanaians, they have scammed Galamseyers because they have scammed because they actually encourage these Galamseyers. They use it as a campaign tool. The same Galamseyers finance part of their campaign. If it was not Galamsey, the MP from our wing fully have won the election. He rolled on Galamsey today. He is in parliament, benefiting, yet he is failing to push for an agenda for the law to be repealed. And when you talk about repealing of the law, today the NDC want to tell you that it is not the issue of the lands and natural resource ministry.
I think it's only fair if you speak about scamming, you only have to be fair with the word scam.
Why should I be fair with the word scam?
No, you just explain to us why, when you say that somebody has scammed somebody, there should be a reason for this. What is the scam? What scam are you talking about?
I have stated here, and I'll repeat it again.
Yes.
The NDC, as a government, as a party, they have scammed Ghanaians
in what way?
In luring their way into power as far as Galamsey is concerned. What did they tell us? They told us that when they come, they will make sure that LI 2462 is repealed. Were we not told in this country? Have they done that? We are in.
But they are 8 months in, right?
Please, don't go on that tangent. You don't go on that tangent. They are 8 months.
I'm not going on.
I'm coming. They are 8 months. Yeah. You see, stop respectfully, Rosalie. Stop interjecting and let me land. Then you come in. They have been in power for 8 good months.
Yes.
When it is bad, it is the NPP. When it is good, you want us to shift it to the NDC side that they are doing well. When it is not going well, you want to say that you want to disassociate yourself from the issue. Who does that? Who does that? When it is good, you must accept it. When it is bad, you must accept it. You have scammed Ghanaians. You rope yourself into power by lying your way through power through this Galamsey menace today. You are not calling on everybody to come and support you. We will support you. We will not go on the tangent you went on. They never wished us well. They never supported us when we were fighting this canker. They rather benefited from it. Today, you sit here and you're telling us the law is being considered. Let me tell you, the second thing I think needs to be done. Parliament must reconvene under certificate of emergency. They must do a certificate of emergency or agency or whatever they call it. They must reconvene to see to it that the law LI 2462 is repealed immediately. If they can reconvene or they can go under certificate of agency to pass a law within a day, then what stops them from doing this? It tells you that the NDC have an ulterior motive. Their motive is not to come and repeal the law. Their motive is to continue to be beneficiaries of the Galamsey. I am calling on Parliament. The leaders of Parliament must put their heads together. We have seen what we went through in the last 2 weeks. Never again should that happen to us as a country.
Okay.
And if we are saying that never again should it happen, the first thing that must be done decisively is to see to it that we call for an emergency parliament to repeal the law for us to be safe as a country. Let's stop people from mining in forest areas.
Okay, but
and the last thing I want to do, for me,
so
I want to.
No, we have to. I
want to suggest. The last thing I want to suggest is that government must ban Galamsey illegal, legal mining and artisanal mining. I support the call from my brother. They must ban it for the next 1 year. That is the only way we can see through what is going on and be able to come out with proper data of those who have correct licenses and those who are hiding behind so-called financiers and doing illegal
mining. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. I mean, as Ghanaians, I think today we all have to shine our eyes. I'm telling you, Ghanaians, we all have to shine our eyes. Because you see, this Galamsey thing it's like this canker, actually. Politicians play it in a different way. So today the NPP says, this has to be repealed, this, that. The NDC says, oh, it has to go through a certain legal way and blah, blah, blah. In 2024, we had the NDC tell us, Fili Gadochi, that they will repeal it once they come to power. They are 8 months into it, and they still haven't repealed it. But the NPP, under the NPP, this LI 2462 was passed. It was shadow passed. We only got to know about it after a month it was passed. Where before it was passed, you couldn't mine in forest reserves. There was only 2% of forest reserve that could be mined. Then this law was passed where there was unlimited mining, unlimited access into forest reserves. The NPP today says that, repeal it. It was passed under them. The NDC comes to power, and now they tell us that it has to go through a process. We all they watch. But let's pray for Ghana because it's very important. Trust me. Anyway, Hussaini, Nana, you want to say?
30 seconds. You see, let us not run away from the fact that Amal Kofi-Boa has been pushing so hard to deal with this matter of Galamsey. Let's admit the fact that he has put in some measures. And that is why in our statement that we issued, we are adding on to the measures he's picked already, trying to draw his attention to some of the policies that can help in dealing with the matter. Let us move away from the noise-making when we are talking about Galamsey. Because if you listen to my brothers from the other side, the only thing they have suggested ever since this government came into power is the repealing of the law that has to do with, I think, LI 2462. Now, if I took some time to, we have also suggested that it should be repealed, of course. And that is because we would want there to be a complete ban also in the near future on all water bodies and in forest reserves. You see, if you read it well, there is a section, I have forgotten the section, so I thought I wrote it down, that gives the president the mandate, the executive power to direct which forest reserve. He's the only one that can sanction it. And we are saying that one should not even happen.
That power should be taken away from the president.
Because you see, as human beings as we are, we can be compromised.
I think in the amendment, that's what they were suggesting for the amendment. That power be taken, but not a repeal of the LI 2462. But what about a full repeal of it?
I have asked questions. So we have suggested that it should be repealed. Of course, we've called for the suspension of the LI2 so that at least a proper review of it and all the issues that are not in sync dealt with. Well, I even called on the CSOs that are into natural resources and mining to take a critical look at it and to make suggestions. You understand me? It is easy. We have made suggestions. What should go in and out of the new LI that will be made. But anybody who comes aside us just talks about it to be repealed without making any suggestions or how to go about it. That should not be the way forward.
Okay. So, yes.
You see, it is not about how loud you shout that makes your point actual or fact. As we speak now, they who passed that particular law in 2022, under them, we lost about 9 forest reserve in Ghana. As I speak to you now, within 8 months, we have reclaimed all those forest reserves back from the Galamseyers they actually allowed there. Now, as I speak to you, the Attorney General is even working with the Lands and Natural Resources Minister, not only to repeal or to even amend some portions, to revoke the whole law. Do you get it? So if I explain that, listen, it is going through a proper process that, listen, we are going to revoke it entirely. I don't see how somebody will say it is NDC that lied to Ghanaians that MPP granted over 2,000 mining leases, small-scale mining leases, within even a matter of about 3 years. What was happening?
For 3 years. A chunk of it was done in
2024. See, so how was that a scam? Only God knows. Was it the NDC that told Ghanaians that somebody who came and even issued a ban on even small-scale mining for a year? Small-scale mining that you even say we should now, Nana was saying we should issue a ban now. That was done. We spent over $200 million buying drones. Up to now, the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources cannot even see one place, one drone that was used in the fight against Galamsey. Almost all our major water bodies in the country were polluted. So was it the NDC taking artificial intelligence to come and show water from another country? So I don't really get the scam that he's talking about. Because if you check for the past 8 years, our forest reserves that have been degraded under the MPP within 8 years, even including animal sanctuaries.
People are calling for state of emergency. Is it going to happen?
For me, yes, I would have loved state of emergency, especially on our water bodies and our forest reserve. You see, the problem we're having is that when we call for some of these things, we don't try to segregate. As I speak to you now, some of the large-scale mining companies find themselves in forests. Do you know that? They've been given concessions in the forest. What they do is that once they mine in this area, they transport or go and transplant the forest in another area. You see, just to compensate for what they've degraded. After they finish mining, they go and try to reclaim the place. But the problem with the small-scale miners is that they don't do that. They are supposed to do, especially the small-scale miners. But it's just that we don't give them proper monitoring to do this. So let's try, if you say let's depoliticize this conversation, it is not about accusing me that I've not been able to fast-track the mess you have created, so I am a scammer.
But that's what everybody
How can that be?
But everybody has been expecting.
No, I am even telling you, yes. Everybody expects a fast track within the 8 years, within 8 months. The Attorney General and then the Lands and Natural Resources Minister are going through all the legal processes to make sure they revoke the law that you have been able to pass. And you say he's a scammer.
I think that what Amakufibua is trying to prevent is to prevent the creation of a legal vacuum.
Okay.
All right. Legal, because once they do not prepare themselves well to be able to push in another, then somebody can exploit it easily.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, Senyo, just like 2 minutes so that we can move to the next conversation.
The issue of this Galamsey thing, it's not about as to which minister has performed well, which minister is doing well. Let's applaud all the past ministers who have, steered the affairs of that ministry. I must say that Honorable Abu Jinapo did everything possible to make sure that this canker will be a thing of the past. But of course, the NDC, I'll continue to repeat it, was on the neck of government at the time. So when I talk about the fact that they are major beneficiaries, I don't think that my brother should, get peace with that statement. Of course, they were major beneficiaries of that. And then he talked about the fact that we are talking about repeal anytime we come on the show, anytime there is an issue of Galamsey is about repeal. No, that has never been our stand all the time. The repeal has been the topmost in terms of scale of preference because that was a campaign promise. If today we are being told that they have to consider a lot of things, what stopped them? If they could take a day or two to pass the gold board, to pass the Doomsor levy, what stopped them from repealing the same law? So you see, they want to, do it when it's in their best interest, and they want to pull back a bit and begin to, complain and push the blame to the MPP. But that is not how to govern. Governance is a continuous process. Whilst you are inheriting the liabilities, you must make sure that you take full responsibility of it. You don't now get a power that you have, find your way with your PR gimmicks and the rest. You've gotten the power. Now today, you are shifting blame game that NPP gave a number of licenses and all of that. Don't worry, very soon, there will be a petition. And you see the number of licenses that has been given from 7th of January to date. You see the number of licenses that has been given by this administration.
Do you have the number?
Don't worry, I'm telling you that very soon. But what I want
a minute to end on it.
The last thing I want us to do is that I've stated earlier that there is the need for us to ban whether illegal or legal mining. We need to ban it for the next 1 year, in my opinion. We need to do this with the mindset that we'll be able to scan through the system and see identifiable places that needs to be, mined, and be able to also ascertain the rightful places that there is gold that needs to be mined, so that we don't have Galamseyers or miners going into areas just in search of gold, destroying the land. That will not help us. But in doing this, or in calling for state of emergency, you cannot call for state of emergency without providing a living standard for those who are doing the Galamsey. So I am calling on government that with immediate effect, whilst we are calling for a state of emergency, we should also take stock of every Galamsey site, all the registered companies. Let's get to know the numbers they are working with. Let's have their data, so that once we call for state of emergency, these people can be catered for in the next 3 or 4 months in terms of monthly stipend, because it is because of this thing that they are doing the Galamsey.
Okay.
If we don't do that, then the canker we don't want to see will continue in that same regard.
All right, thank you very much. I have to move on to the next topic, it's to do with Accra decongestion.
A gun that is more sophisticated than that of the military.
Let me go on to my next.
That does not have money to feed for a month.
Please. Let me go on to the next conversation, please. I think when it comes to Galamsey conversations, we won't end it anytime soon. Gentlemen, please understand me. Gentlemen, please. Emmanuel, Nana and Emmanuel, please, I'm conducting the conversation. I beg you. We need to move on to the next topic. Thank you so much. And so, thank you. I like that. I won't mind you. All right, so Accra decongestion exercise took place in the month of May, and so far, people are praising that decongestion exercise because they say it's eased traffic. And so we will take a look at what is happening. Sheila is going there pretty shortly. She'll be on air to let us know how the place is currently. But then there are certain places like Circle that I have used, and I can say that, yes, it's still looking good, not gone back to the state that it was before. There are other places that people are also calling on the government to have it done in those areas, because as of now, it's just been done in certain places, and certain places have missed out on it. Because if we say we are decongestion our marketplaces, there are so many market areas, the Medina market and all those places are still there, but the decongestion exercise hasn't happened there because that side, the person in charge hasn't taken, responsibility or haven't decided to do that. But we call on everybody who is involved to help with this decongestion exercise. So I want to ask my guests, my studio audience, audience here, if they've been to any of these locations and they have seen how it is and what they think about it. So, Nana, you say you're always driving in town, but have you been to Circle, Mapola, and those areas?
I walk in town a lot, and I think last week I was in a Trotsky, and don't go you know. So I boarded this Trotsky just at my junction to the Frames Oil to meet a friend, and I sat in this Trotsky. Then I realized that the mate was trying to look at my face.
So yes, that.
I gave him. I actually didn't know sometimes they charge a 12 cedi to the junction. Sometimes they charge a 10 cedi, depending on which side. And it's just some short distance. And so I got in and the man said it's 12 cities. And I'm saying, 12 cities, say. And I said, that's a brown always can be a you. So we do Trotsky a lot. But, you know.
You don't do it a lot. You did that today.
Oh, no, I do it most of the time, especially when I'm going to church.
Hey, politicians.
And Rosalind, the point is this. The mayors are trying all they can, but the issue does not just have to do with moving the people. In as much as I would admit that the places that used to be so very choked are better off now, the decongestion is not just about moving the people. It goes beyond that. It goes about looking at the infrastructural designs that we have, the re-engineering of the towns and the cities, the re-engineering of our market structures. That should be the conversation now. If you listen to the roads minister, Governor, Governs Abuja, I always call him Governor, Governs Abuja, he made a very beautiful statement quite recently, trying to see how best they can bring together, monitor the constructions of these roads. Because what we have realized is that sometimes these contractors even alter the designs without recourse to the persons who give them the authority and the contracts to do. Meanwhile, we have appointed consultants to supervise. You get me? So that is why you would find very newly constructed roads and still floods would happen on those roads. That is because we have not looked beyond the numbers. The infrastructural designs or the engineering designs that you would have had when Ghana's population in Accra was 100,000 is different from those you would have now when our population is about 3, 4, 5, 10 million.
Yeah.
But if you look at what is happening, it is just a repetition of our designs. All right? So the same gutters we had, the sizes we had in the 1844.
Still the same thing.
They're still the same thing. And they have forgotten that the waste that we even generate has increased in volumes. All right. So the call that we should have a national discourse, all right, bringing together the users of the infrastructure, all right, the designers as the engineers, and the contractors who are to do the work, all right, and the consultants who are supposed to do the supervision of the work. It's a call for a now, so that we are able to deal with the matter head on, not just moving the people off the roads. Because, Rosalind, why are the people off the roads? Are on the roads? They are on the road because they think that the market structures they have is not conducive. They think that the people do not have parking places to come into the market. And so if you are by the roadside, they will buy more. So you will find out that people who are by the roadside themselves still have stores and sheds in the markets.
In the markets. Well, that's true.
And they bring them out. And so once you are moving them out and we have been able to identify the problems or the causes why they leave their shops to come onto the streets, then we deal with it.
Okay.
If not, today, we are here and enjoying the short time decongestion because we have been able to recruit persons to be by the roadsides and all that. But tomorrow, if we do not have enough resources to be able to keep those men and women policing the decongestion that has been done, then we will come back to square zero.
Okay. Fuseni, any sustainability plan for this?
Well, I think, yes, I have been a DCE before. It's always not easy. Yeah, but it will shock you. You think you are dealing with decongestion, but come and deal one week with my Fulani herdsmen.
Every district and the problem they have.
They are worse than decongestion. But my brother, the Kumasi mayor, started something. I think the Accra mayor also is doing his own thing. They draw a red line, especially on the pavement, and say, listen, if this person crosses the red line, all of you on the other side, I'm evicting all of you. So there should be a pavement for people to freely walk. That is not a place for selling. So anybody on the pavement should not be allowed for any reason that we are going to look for a market for you. No, you are in the wrong place. That is not a place to sell. Then, because they push onto the pavement, then people also push, the trotro drivers also push to the way and block one lane, also using that place to commute the market women and then the buyers who are buying from the pavement. So I think, yes, what the mayor in Kumasi has done by drawing that red line across all the fronts of all the shops along the road, even if you, the shopkeeper yourself, you cross it yourself, there should be penalties to it. So it's sustainable. It's not always that there should be regular patrols, regular supervision. Once somebody crosses, just accept fines and that's it. If you allow somebody to come and sit in front of your shop and cross the red line, they come and fine you the shop. Simple. Nobody will allow that to happen. So it can be sustained, my brother.
It can be,
I'm not saying it's not
sustainable. With regards to the structures, because we have heard, from even spokespersons from the Accra mayor saying that there are some, construction exercises that we should expect in coming days.
Yes, markets are going to happen. Yes. Okay. Markets are not going to relocate those shop owners. Mostly, the painful thing is that some of those well-to-do shop owners also go and buy those shops again and decide to rent it for those who don't have places. That is the problem we used to have. But yes, markets will come up, but it's only expansion, especially for those who don't have to also come and occupy. But unfortunately, it's a cartel. Those who have the businessmen who have the money, they will go and buy all the stores and they decide now to rent it out. And that is where the problem is always coming in again. So government to build all right. KJTR was built for the market women who were in KJTR. But at the end of the day, you realize even politicians who don't even sell anything will go and buy all of them and start dishing it out at exorbitant prices, discouraging the women from getting it. And that is where the problem is. So yes, markets will be built. And trust you me, John Dramani Mahama is good at building markets anyway. All these appointees, market building is something easy for us. So it will be done, but does it stop people from selling on the street? At times, it is not the unavailability of markets. So it is about how easy and accessible they think they are. Yes.
Okay. So the sustainability is the issue. I wanted to bring Emmanuel in, but before then.
What I spoke about had to do with the modernization of our market structures. You understand me?
Yes.
You see, one of the complaints we have had is that customers do not even have places to park their cars.
That is true.
They do not have easy access and all that.
Let me show you something.
Okay.
We are suggesting...
We actually have to end the segment right now. So I want to thank you, gentlemen, for being here. We have to go. I'm sorry. We have to go. But you were telling me you also have to go. You have to program. Okay, so give 1 minute, at least 2 minutes. So that we can
For me, the issue of the decongestion, I think it's not just about decongestion. We must also look at our sanitation. Yesterday, I happened to be in Accra Central, and trust me, the place is too filthy. Too bad. One, you don't even have accessibility. Then two, there is filth in the street. So for me, I think that the mayor is doing well, but he must improve on what he's doing. It must not just be, he goes with his, I don't know whether his 2 ICs, then they sweep the people off the street. He goes to sit back without seeing to the sanitation problem also as well. I think a lot needs to be done as far as the decongestion is concerned. We must look at both the decongestion and the sanitation problem as a whole.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, for being here.